Hello and welcome to a slightly different video, a bit of a Bible FIFA social event. I basically decided to take my Bible FIFA team into FUT Champions to see how I get on with a fairly average team against a load of stacked teams. Now I'm fairly cheesed off because I just spent 11 minutes recording my voiceover and I accidentally pressed cancel right at the end and I've got to do it again. But anyway, here are the sort of teams I came up against in the campaign. Quite a lot of sweaty teams, just sweat after sweat after sweat. Ronaldo's, Torres's, icons, red players, team of the seasons, you name it. It was going to be tough, right, with my Bible FIFA team. And this set the tone. I'm 1-0 down, 7 minutes into the first game. Diogo Jota cuts inside, a lot of jinking, smashes it in the far corner. I lose the game 5-2. Now I've clipped all of my goals from this kind of FUT Champions campaign, but I forgot to clip them live on this one. So here's the replays of my goals in the 5-2 loss. I scored one with Barnes, and I scored the other with Crouch. Now all the other goals are kind of live, so to speak, in terms of the footage, but here's proof of the 2 goals from the first game. So we lose the first game 5-2, so that's 1 loss. In the second game, as you can see from the scoreline, 3-0 becomes 4-0. I'm out of there. At this point, my daughter's in bed. She's asleep. I've got a few hours to basically play all 20 games on this particular evening. So any game like that, I'm quitting straight off the bat. But into the next game, smash one in the bins of Barnes to pull it back to 2-1. However, the guy then picks up Socrates, rainbow flick to scissor kick over button into the far corner. I mean, that's FUT Champions for you, isn't it? It's just next level sweat. So I'm 3-0 down. The fact I'm through with Crouch here is clearly a good sign for the video. McGeady spin, finesse shot, far corner, pull it back to 3-2. But as you can see from the scoreline, it's now 6-2 at this point, and now 7-2. Absolutely battered. You know what's coming. I pause the game. I'm out of there. Let's not waste any time. If my daughter wakes up midpoint through the evening, you know, you've got to allow for these things. So let's just crack through the games. We're now into another game. Crouch smashes it far corner for a 1-0 lead, get us off to the dream start. We then play in Crouch with Llorente to go through on goal, and I remember this, I dinged it over the keeper. The defender's on the line, he just fails with the clearance. He doesn't know what he's doing. The player can't lock onto it. It's 2-2 at this point though. I get a penalty though to put me back in the lead for 3-2. DePaul composedly sticks it away, but you can see from the scoreline it's now 4-3 to the opposition, and this is the most ridiculous pace abuse I've ever seen from Foden. He's not that quick in real life. Runs down the line, buries it far corner. It's now 6-3 at this point. Foden again with more pace abuse, scores his weak foot. 7-3, you know the drill. 73rd minute, 7-3, quite interesting. But anyways, I quit the game, and that's another loss on the board. However, into the next game, I'm 1-0 down, but Crouch outrageously rainbow flicks the keeper, scissor kicks it in the back of the net. I've got to give you guys some content as best I can. That's 1-1. I then get another penalty into this game. DePaul, composure, down the middle this time. Predicted the keeper was going to die if he did. I then get another penalty in the same game. More composure from DePaul, far corner. 3-1 up at this point. I've now got the ball again, which is a promising sign. Sling it to Crouch. One touch, bang. Across the keeper into the far corner for a 4-1 lead. The player pauses the game, and you know what's coming. It's the opposition's turn to rage quit, and that's another win on the board for us, which I think is something like 2 wins. So we're ticking over. We're proving we can do it. It's now 0-0 into the next game. DePaul, back post cross. John Barnes, downward header, goal. 1-0. 1-0 up. It's now 1-1 though at this point. Sanchez, bang. But improving, you can make saves as a 68 rated keeper, tipping it wide. Very good save, must I say so. But all of a sudden, as you can tell, it's 4-1, lasered into the near post for 5-1. You know the drill. I'm probably not coming back from that. My daughter's asleep. I don't know how long I've got. Get out of there, move on to the next game. Into the next game, Cunha to Crouch. At this point, we're 2-0 down, but Crouch does a Socrates-esque scissor kick over the keeper for 2-1. But now it's 3-1 to the opposition. With Ronaldo, it's now 4-1 to the opposition. You know the drill. Pause it, get out of there, crack on to the next game. Into the next game then. We're 2-0 down at this point. Firmino to Salah, across the keeper. Clearly a Liverpool fan, Liverpool name. 3-0. I'm done. It's 77th minute. There's no coming back from this. 3-0, rage quit, done. We've got a short window in the evening. We're on to the next game. Into the next game then. 0-0. Cunha nods it down to DePaul, well saved from the keeper, but Barnes is there to follow up for a 1-0 lead. The guys paused it. Does this mean a quit's coming? Crouch, bang, across the keeper for 2-0. I think it is indeed a rage quit. We'll wait to see confirmation, but there it is. So we get another win on the board. I think that's potentially our third win. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you can be bothered. It's into the next game, of course, that 2-0 down. Most hilarious own goal. That's right, I had to clip that. So it's 3-1 at this point. Then Crouch from the corner scissor kicks it into the back of the net for 3-2. Beautiful finish from the lanky man. Gets up high to bury it. We then go through on goal. Surely I'm sweating this. Of course I am. John Barnes, bang. 3-3. And I remember this game, it was painful. Abraham's Army, it's 3-3 in the 90th minute, and he gets it with that man, Tammy Abraham, buries it across my David Button for a 4-3 win. All my players are on the floor, faces in the mud, absolutely devastated. They're on the deck, it's a 4-3 loss. But we're into the next game, and this made me feel a bit better. The guy just plays it in the back of the net from kickoff, pauses it, quits, gives me the win. He's clearly finished his matches and doesn't need to win any more games. So thank you very much. We'll take that. Now into the next match, it's 0-0. Hermoso bullet header from the corner. That's our first goal of the campaign. And I think it was our only one across the games with a defensive player. So well done, Hermoso. He's also our only defensive player to have scored in our main Bible FIFA series. So he's proving to be a bit of a legend. Now this, by the way, Cunha, he almost missed again. He's hit the post, then got the rebound. That was his first goal in the whole of the FUT Champions evening, like over halfway through the games. And he's one of our main strikers for the game. Horrific. I had to put that clip in there, by the way. Peter Crouch absolutely wiping someone out with the 6'7" lanky legs, swiping them out. But into this match, now this was brutal. I was 2-0 up. Then he brings on Madavi, back stick header to Diaby, who he brought on, for 2-1. He then does exactly the same thing again, sprints down the line with Madavi. Reece James isn't catching up with him, and he puts another one to the back stick for short Diaby, and he wins another back post header. It reminds me of Giovinco back in the old FIFA, just always used to score back post headers when he had no right to at 5-6. Anyways, it's 2-2, it's gone to extra time. Time to make yourself a hero, David Button. Yes, just about claws it away a bit unconvincingly from the pen. So it's still 2-2. Into the last minute of extra time, I go down the line, I see DePaul, I chip it back to him, scissor kick across the keeper for a 3-2 win right at the death. It's this time for the opposition's players to have their face in the mud, heads on the deck, and I get some redemption for Abraham's Army. So I get another win on the board. I think that's 4th, 5th win. Into the next game, I'm 1-0 down. A beautiful free kick, by the way, I think it was Saka, lasered it into the top corner. And then at this point, it's 3-0. Heung-min Son with a power shot animation for 4-0. I think that's a next-gen thing. Again, if you can be bothered to tell me in the comments what that power shot thing's all about, let me know. But either way, I'm out of there. Rage quit. 4-0. On to the next game. And at this point, you can see it's 2-0. De Bruyne roulette. Bang across button. 3-0. You know, the evening at this point is getting late. I'm almost towards the end of my games. I'm thinking, let's get out of there. Let's get out of another one. It's a hard game. We'll crack on to try and get through all of our matches in the same night. Into the next game then, we're 1-0 down. But John Barnes, arguably goal of the campaign. Beautiful finish from outside the box into the top bins to make it 1-1. However, it's now 3-1 to the opposition at this point. But I am on the ball, which is a good sign. Chips it to DePaul, who does a carbon copy scissor kick from what he did a couple of games ago for 3-2. I then, with John Barnes, smash it across the keeper. Off the bar, though, but I keep it alive. Crouch to DePaul to Cunha, and Cunha this time more convincingly gets a goal for 3-3. So it's 3-3. It's looking promising. However, their opposition gets the ball, and he buries it with Mesut Ozil past David Button for a slightly unfortunate 4-3 loss, but it is what it is. We gave a good account of ourselves. Into the next game, then, we're almost at the end of our matches. The player basically gives me the win in this. He runs off, he lets Cunha get a free goal, and then he pauses, gives me a free win on the forfeit. So we've had a couple of those which we've got to be very grateful for this campaign. So I think that's now 6th win or something on the board. It's now 0-0 into the next game. I slip in Crouch through on goal, and I do a bit of a cheeky sweat across to Cunha. Scissor kicks it in for 1-0 lead. Cunha's now starting to get some momentum a little bit late into the FUT Champs. I then play in Barnes, bangs it across the keeper on his left foot for a 2-0 lead. I'm on the ball again in an attacking position. It's looking promising. Cunha, nice one onto his right foot, finesses far corner. He's having a better second half of the FUT Champs campaign, Cunha, and we get the rage quit. So another win on the board. I think that's like, what, probably 7 wins or something. We then play into Crouch, who back heels it through to Cunha. Beautiful bit of play round the keeper of Cunha, and he gets another goal. And at this point in the game, it's to equalise 1-1, but it's now 3-1 to the opposition. Dimitri Payet bangs it across button for 4-1. Okay, it's 4-1. He was getting a bit cocky at this point. He was pushing up with his defenders. I pull one back with Barnes. For some reason, the clip corrupted, but I think I just finessed it far corner. But we lost that game 4-2. Here's confirmation. I'd basically done everything I could at that point on FUT Champs to get the highest rank possible. So I did what the other guys kind of did to me. I let the 2 matches be 3 wins. So there's the confirmation of the first one. I let Ronaldo go through to chip it over button for 1-0. And then I did the same again in the next game. I was sliding all over the place, have a free goal. He finally gets it in with Cantona. Pause the game, quit, and I'm out of there. So that's the end of the FUT Champs campaign. Overall, did fairly well. I think I got 7-8 wins. Fairly reasonable overall. However, my player picks were devastatingly bad. I think I picked the Greek guy from that one for fodder, and in the second one I picked the German chap thinking he might be a bit fun in game, but I mean I ended up just chucking him into some other SBCs, which I'm going to show you the content of now actually for a bit of bonus content, see which other kind of players I packed off the back of that FUT Champs campaign. So we've got Ledley King, FUT Heroes, who's gone straight into my team for a bit of Premier League linkage. I then did a Prime / Team of the Year / something else icon pick, and I get Cantona, which I was pretty pleased with. The first 2 that popped up, Blanc and Vidic, I was like, oh no, this is a disaster, an absolute stinker of a player pick. But Cantona came in very nicely at the end there. Now, I didn't realise how OP these sort of 25 plus 84 player packs were. But yeah, I've heard they're actually really overpowered, and I got the proof with my first ever packing of Cristiano Ronaldo, which I was pretty pleased with. One for the kind of record books. Having said that, he's only worth like 30k or something at this point on FIFA, and as you can see with his 81 pace, the old age is kicking in. Now we obviously had some nice fodder in behind that. We had Son, Kimmich, Diaz, etc., some 87s, so a few more useful players that I chucked into another SBC, which you'll see the outcome of in a minute. And I also got Timo Werner, a level up Timo Werner, which at the time I thought probably quite average. Turns out to be worth £1 million, so not too shabby, although he is untradeable, but yeah, pretty decent. This player pick I thought was horrific at the time, and then I turned out actually Sims is apparently quite good, 100 odd K, might play some games with him, have a bit of fun with him. Walker I had already packed actually on the web app, so I had a chance to get him again, but anyway, we didn't need him, we already had him. Got Sims, and then final pack, I think it's a 1085 plus pack or something. I get Kimmich on the front, but little did I know you can have icons tucked in behind. This was my first ever icon in a clean pack, which I was buzzing with. And to finish with the stats, 6 wins on the board, Peter Crouch top goal scorer. I hope you enjoyed something a bit different, and I'll catch you on the next one.